Fire Emblem Echoes has been recently announced by Nintendo in the form of a dedicated Direct, and fans of the series are already taking to forums and comment sections in order to express their excitement for not one, but 4 new entries in the Fire Emblem franchise. It's jarring to think that the series would have been dead if not for Fire Emblem Awakening, which was intended to serve as the series' last hurrah. But what if this announcement was bigger than we think? What if indeed there was not 4 Fire Emblem games announced, but 8? There have been whisperings among the community of such a concept, but the idea has never been brought to light in any proper form. We're here to explain that. Fire Emblem Gaiden was the second installment in the Fire Emblem series, and was never released in the West in any form. Those of you that have played Gaiden know that the only real way to experience the game is by installing a ROM hack that allows you to play a rewritten fan translation of the game using an emulator. This is the case with all Fire Emblem titles that have never been released in the West. It's no surprise that fans of the classics who never got an official NOA localization for Gaiden are ecstatic that it is not only coming to the West, but will be completely remastered with a style akin to Awakening and Fates, and keeping all of the original mechanics and quirks that the game first shipped with. Certainly, this move expresses a change of mentality for Intelligent Systems as well as Nintendo. They appear to be catching on now that there is a substantial Fire Emblem following in the West, and this is great, because that just means the fans can expect to see more love letters like this. So, we know that Nintendo hears us. But what about the game itself? Why is it being remade in this form? What about the name of Fire Emblem Echoes? Well, fans of the game might have been put off by the name at first, as it seemed to imply that this was a game based on Gaiden, as opposed to being an actual Gaiden remake. The announcer even put it that way when they rolled the classic footage.
This game is inspired by the second installment in the series, Fire Emblem Gaiden, which released exclusively.
Fans of the series can already tell you that the name Echoes has really no connection to the plot as a whole, and is in no way a significant theme or plot point in Gaiden where the developers could say, yes, let's give this name to the Gaiden remaster. To be fair, the game actually has another subtitle beyond Echoes, and that is Shadows of Valentia. Now this directly ties the nomenclature of the game to the actual region the game takes place in, which is more of a plot point than Echoes implies for sure. But what if Echoes isn't referring to anything within the game itself, but perhaps a concept that is propounded by the game? Now we know a game in the Fire Emblem franchise to already give dual subtitles and use that format to indicate something both ideological and story-driven at the same time. That title is Fire Emblem Fates. Not to mention, of course, that it remains to be the only game in the series besides Echoes to have a dual subtitle format. That, of course, being Fates Conquest, Fates Birthright, and Fates Revelation, which begins with the first subtitle denoting the idea of choice, leading to multiple fates, and each preceding subtitle denoting the specific choice's theme in direct relation to the story. Echoes appear similar in structure and practicality, but why Echoes, if indeed it has nothing to do with the specific story of Gaiden itself? Well, our theory holds that Echoes is in direct reference to the fact that it is a remaster of an old Fire Emblem game. It made me calling attention to the fact that the remake itself is an echo of the past, and Shadows of Valentia pinpoints exactly which part of Fire Emblem's history will be covered in the game. By extension, this could mean that Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia is the start of a new Echoes series, in which every preceding title will be yet another classic Fire Emblem game given the Awakening treatment on the 3DS. It makes sense to start the Echoes series at Gaiden, knowing that we already have Shadow Dragon in the West, which was the first Fire Emblem game in the series. It's only logical to begin where they left Western fans hanging, Fire Emblem Gaiden. Taking into account Intelligent Systems' new mentality in regards to Western fans, their new fondness for classic Fire Emblem titles, which is fully exemplified with Heroes for iOS and Android, and past patterns for title structure, we think it's safe to put your bets on 4 additional games in the Echoes series, making for a very lively future for Fire Emblem indeed. Do you agree with this evidence? Find additional information that extends this idea further? Let us know in the comments and we'll be happy to make any update videos based on fan suggestion. Thanks for watching. Stay classy.